So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are going to be continuing with the Trading Every Player rebuild series. And in today's episode, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. On paper, the Cleveland Cavaliers have an extremely talented roster. They are very young, and there's still some room for some growth there. This offseason, they brought in Max Strus. I like that signing quite a bit. They clearly have two dominant big men, and then one of the best shooting guards in all of basketball in Donovan Mitchell. And I can't even believe I'm leaving out Darius Garland. So all the above factors mean that this roster should be elite. Now, in real life, they're not quite there yet. I still think they're a little bit young, maybe a piece or two away. But today, we're going to go ahead and trade away this entire roster before year one kicks off. As I'm sure many of you know, we have no say in any of these trades. At no point throughout the course of this video may any of the players currently on the roster come back. And the end goal is to obviously win a championship. And finally, as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comments section. I've been really enjoying kind of this path we've been going on with the different kinds of videos we've been doing. So anything you guys want to see, let me know down below. And then finally, on Friday, there's not going to be a rebuild. What there's going to be on Friday is a video of me reacting to your NBA hot takes. I've done a bunch of these in the past. They're always a really good time. I really do like mixing up just rebuilds and some other kinds of videos now and then. So at this moment right now, I have a post up on my community tab where you guys can leave questions basically all the way through Thursday tomorrow. So anything you guys want to be in the video, let me know there and I'll try my best to get them all in. But just want to let you guys know that. Let's get into this one. It would be pretty pointless if we spent a good amount of time actually talking about this roster. I know I kind of went over a few things in the intro, but we're not going to really do that right now. So I guess let's just jump straight into it. So best player on this team, Donovan Mitchell, top 2, 3, wherever you have him in the league in terms of shooting guards. It sucks. I want to build around him today. Unfortunately, we're not able to do that. So we only have 6 trade offers for him. A couple of these are looking like they'd be okay. A few of them I wouldn't love. Oh my God, if I end up with this one, I'm actually going to cry myself to sleep. But yeah, I mean, I have no say. So the eyes are shut right now. We'll continue scrolling through this and we'll stop here in 3, 2, and 1. Oh my God. This is the second video in a row where I've said, please don't give me that one trade offer out of all of them, and I've gotten the one I didn't want. Well, Shaedon Sharpe has been balling out recently. I don't mean to discredit the man, because he's been playing his ass off recently, especially in real life. But for Donovan Mitchell, I don't know if I'm quite there yet. So that's a little unfortunate. Darius Garland is going to be the next guy we do look to move. We have 14 trade offers for him. As you can see, the eyes are closed. We'll scroll through these, and we will stop right about now. Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis. I have to imagine there were better offers. This one would have been fun. I would have loved Bam Adebayo. De'Aaron Fox would have even been incredible. Jamal Murray, Siakam. Yeah, you know, I mean, this again is just not my favorite trade offer, but it's what you got to live with in these sorts of videos. So we do have to do Evan Mobley. I'm going to pair him up actually with Max Strus just so we can maybe kind of match a little bit of a bigger contract. So we do have 5 offers. If it was only 1, I wouldn't have done it. But we do have 5 offers to choose from here, and we will scroll through all of these. We'll stop right here, and I'm actually going to go one to the left this time, which gives us Brandon Ingram and Dyson Daniels, or it would have been Bam Adebayo and Jaime Jaquez Jr. That probably would have been the one I would have preferred, but Brandon Ingram, but Brandon Ingram is still very good. I do not want to discredit him. So Jared Allen will be next. Good, big defensive center. We have 17 trade offers for him. We will scroll through this real quickly, and we will stop right about now. Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels, and the game actually included Brogdon in there itself. I didn't do that, so I'm going to go ahead and allow it. But Rudy Gobert has been balling out this season. Jaden McDaniels is one of, if not the best role player in all of basketball, in my opinion. He might even be ahead of a role player at this point in time, if we're being honest. But he's 2 very, very good players coming over from the Minnesota Timberwolves. So that kind of takes care of all the stars on this team. Karis LeVert and Isaac Okoro will be next. Okoro's still only 22. There's a little bit of potential there. Probably not going to be a star for Cleveland, but it is what it is. We'll scroll through this, and we'll stop just right about now. Feels good. I haven't opened the eyes yet. How is this trade? Yusuf Nurkic and Grayson Allen. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect anything too great on that one. I can live with that. All right, so continuing to work our way through here, I see Ricky Rubio. I see Ty Jerome, who is also still on this team. So these are clearly just role pieces at this point in time. And stop right about now. And Caleb Martin from the Miami Heat. I mean, not a terrible trade. I'll take Caleb Martin. Plays like he did in the Eastern Conference Finals against my Celtics. I'll be very happy. God, I'm having Vietnam flashbacks. All right, man. Tristan Thompson, Dean Wade, Sam Merrill, I believe, are just the only guys left. I don't touch the guys that are on 2-way contracts. Just would take way too much time to call them up and then trade them or sign them for. You get my point. Stop. Brandon Boston Jr. here from the Los Angeles Clippers. And then our final deal here, is going to be Dean Wade and Sam Merrill, 2 players that I have 2 trade offers for. So who the fuck cares? Okay, I want to confirm right now that I have traded away every single player that was originally on this Cleveland Cavaliers team. Wow, I did not realize we have 3 guys here that all probably are deserving of serious minutes. So, yeah, not to mention that we have 3. Holy shit. Okay. This is going to be an interesting first season. I clearly can't make any more trades. I'm sure you guys all know that by this point in time. But, yeah, we're going to have to figure out some sort of rotation here. I went ahead and moved around some positions, and we have finalized what this rotation is going to look like, and it's really not that pretty. So, Shaedon Sharpe is going to be my starting point guard. I know he's not a point guard. I just had to get him in this starting 5 somewhere. He was the main piece coming back in the Chris Middleton trade. There's absolutely zero chance I was not going to have him in this starting lineup. So it is what it is. He's going to be my starting point guard. I'm starting him over Dyson Daniels. It's going to probably be only for 1 year, but it'll probably have to do. Chris Middleton moves to the 2. He's going to start there. Ingram here at the 3. I move Portis to the 4. He'll be playing next to Mr. Rudy Gobert at the 5. Jaden McDaniels is going to be my 6th man off the bench. Yusuf Nurkic follows him. Caleb Martin in here, Dyson Daniels, and then Grayson Allen. So we kind of made do with what we had. I kind of established a rule on like day 1 of these rebuilds that after I trade away the whole roster, I can't make any other trades for year 1. I think that's a pretty fair rule. It seemed to have worked out well the whole time I've been doing these. So I'm going to stick by that. I'm not going to make an exception or anything like that just because the roster's not pretty. So a lot of guys here playing out of positions. It's going to have to do for year 1. I have no idea how good this year is actually going to go, but I think we could be a fun team. So I'll see you guys at the end of year 1 here in Cleveland. We wrap up our first season with a record of 47-35. It's actually not that bad when you're kind of looking at it from the grand scheme of things. I mean, we traded away an all-NBA talent in Donovan Mitchell and really didn't get anybody back really even near that level. So I can live with it. Top of the fact, we did start off the season 8-0. I will say. I was paying attention rarely, and it actually happened, so I don't know. Cool. Luka Doncic was 0.1 rebounds off of a triple-double, but he is your MVP nonetheless. Victor Wembanyama, Malcolm Brogdon, now in Minnesota, 6th man of the year. Is he backing up Mike Conley? Interesting. Giannis is your D-Point. Christian Brown, most improved. Luke is also your clutch player of the year. And Quinn Snyder, head coach of the Atlanta Hawks, coach of the year. Okay. Let's take a look at the standings. We are the 4 seed here. We have our hands full in round 1 with the Celtics. Definitely not my favorite team to face because, yeah, they're clearly more talented than we are. So we'll find out in just a second. Here's a look at the numbers on the season. Looks like everybody played decently well. I mean, I do kind of have a problem with my point guard averaging 2.5 assists. That is definitely something we will work on this offseason. But it looked like we had 6 guys in double figures, so I can live with that. Gobert led us in boards, and then assists was Chris Middleton. So if Chris Middleton's leading your team in assists, you probably got to look in the mirror and make a change. As I mentioned here, it's the Celtics in round 1. Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristaps Porzingis. You got Horford off the bench. Added JaVale McGee for some unknown reason. Sam Hauser's there. So, yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be a first-round loss if I had to take a guess. Maybe we pull off the upset, but I highly doubt it. So, we are 2-2 with them right now, though. And we go up 3-2. Okay, we're going to game 7 here, and we lose. Okay, that was fun for like half a second. I didn't think we could have even possibly forced 7 games, but we did. Maybe it's a step in the right direction. We have an Atlanta Hawks in a Phoenix Suns finals, and it's the Hawks going on to win it all, and Trae Young, finals MVP. Coach won Coach of the Year throughout the season. Trae Young, a finals MVP. Who would have thought? The mediocre Atlanta Hawks. Good for you guys. All right, man. LeBron calls it a career after 21 years in the league. Oh, man, that day is going to hit. It's going to hit hard. Popovich also hangs it up, or, well, I guess moves off the seat on the bench. Jersey retirements, LeBron from 3 different franchises. And, yeah, draft lottery. So I do not think we have anything here. I'm almost positive. And I'm not seeing anything, so that's fine. Staff signing here. JB Bickerstaff's not my favorite coach in the world, but he does have pretty good ratings, so I'll hang on to him for now. I don't think that roster was necessarily setting him up for success in terms of being a head coach. So, wow, we do not have a lot of future draft picks. I did not really realize that. So, we do have our own first this year. If I were to move it, because I think at this point, if I had like 3 or 4 future first-round picks instead of just 1, I'd maybe draft somebody at 21. But if I'm going to only have 1 future first, and no, it's only, I can't fucking speak, and it's only in 2026, I think I'd rather trade this and acquire another future asset. I think that probably makes the most sense for me. So just looking at like who's offering me picks, a lot of teams are interested, clearly. Dallas, they're going to be good. They have Luka. I feel like Detroit could suck, but they actually progress really well in this game. A lot of these teams progress really, really well. So I don't really suspect any of them will be bad. Weirdly enough, sometimes the Warriors are bad. The Wizards probably stink, but that's not even a Wizards pick. This is a swap with the Clippers. I don't really understand these swaps still to this day, but I'll take the risk. Maybe it's a valuable pick. Who the hell knows? All right, so we're not drafting anybody. That's cool. Shaedon Sharpe clearly coming back. I'm going to find a way to get him into the starting lineup without him being my point guard. Caleb Martin declines his $7 million player option. Then I will be bringing back Dyson Daniels as well. So, free agency. Imani Bates is on the Cavs, technically, or whatever. Correct, no. And then I'll qualify Brandon Boston Jr. I don't really think he's going to actually see the rotation, but it is what it is. So, Caleb Martin's our one and only kind of big free agent. This free agency class in general isn't exactly elite by any means, and we don't really have any money anyways. But what we do have is some room and some time to make some trades. So let's get into some of those. We're going to pull off a pretty big deal here with the Atlanta Hawks. The defending NBA champions are going to be acquiring Chris Middleton, Dyson Daniels, and Julian Champagne. I cannot pronounce this dude's name. Champagne. From us for DeJounte Murray and Clint Capella. Now, DeJounte Murray is going to revert back to maybe his more traditional position of a point guard. He's going to be our starter moving forward. I have nothing wrong with Chris Middleton. He played well for us, led us in assists, all that fun stuff. He's going to regress, and I have bigger needs. So I have Brandon Ingram. I have Shaedon Sharpe. I thank you for your time, Chris. We're moving on. And we get Clint Capella. I actually really wanted to take this deal here from the Bucks, but clearly I'm not allowed to do that. So DeJounte Murray, welcome to the team. Also getting Clint Capella in that deal. We are definitely not done making trades. We're pulling off another big trade here, and this one's going to come with the Detroit Pistons. We're sending Rudy Gobert straight up for Jalen Duren. Now, real life, I'm not doing this deal. Rudy Gobert is having, I don't want to say a career year because he's had a lot of really good years, but Rudy Gobert in this game is going to regress. He's an expiring contract, and we're having a 12-year age difference with only a 1 overall difference. So Jalen's going to come in here. He's going to be my center for the remainder of the video, and that is a trade that I'm very, very happy with. So we also save a lot of money. So very excited about that. Now comes the decision is what do we want to do with the power forward spot? So Bobby Portis Jr. is a very good role player, 6th man of the year candidate, clearly. And I'd like him to revert back to the bench. So I'm going to try to find a trade for a different power forward. Now, I do have to be careful. We don't have a ton of future assets, but I think between Capella and Nurkic, we should probably be able to find something. I'm going to go ahead and try to make a trade here with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We've already made one big one to kind of kick off this video, and I think Karl-Anthony Towns would slide into that power forward spot very, very nicely. So Clint Capella and Jusuf Nurkic is going to be my offer. Quite honestly, I don't really value either of these players super high. They're both 30-plus years old, and I think we have a better center in Jalen Duren in this game, hypothetically, anyways. So Karl-Anthony Towns would fill a need for us. I don't have a ton of future assets, as I mentioned, and I really don't have any other players that I'd really want to trade either. So got to be somewhat careful here. I'll give up the seconds. I'm going to try not to give up both firsts. Well, this is what I kind of have to work with. So would I give up both firsts? I think I would. And the only reason I probably would is because we're going to have McDaniels off the bench. We're going to have Portis off the bench. I can do something with Caleb Martin. And I think Karl-Anthony Towns does really finalize the starting 5. So will they take this deal? They will. It is definitely a hefty price to pay, but we have our starter here now in Karl-Anthony Towns. I'm going to move Bobby Portis back to the center spot. I'm going to go ahead and bring back Martin, and then we pretty much should be all set, or at least the majority of like the main players coming off the bench. So really like the moves we've made with this team so far. At this point in time, I still do need to find some backup guards and clearly need to go ahead and pay Caleb Martin. So hopefully he doesn't go anywhere. But oh boy, this is not fun. So I guess I'm bringing back Grayson Allen, and I'm going to go ahead and bring back Caleb Martin too. So yeah, it's interesting because, my backup point guard is clearly not going to be tremendous. I could also maybe do a sign-in trade with Brandon Boston Jr. I think that's a possibility. So we actually have a huge trade exception there from Rudy Gobert. So Allen and Martin are back. I will wait on Brandon Boston Jr., who is restricted. We get both those guys back, and then I'll give him about $5 million. Maybe a team sees a little bit of potential. What I'm actually going to go ahead and do is sign somebody else just to pair up with him in a potential trade. So I don't know, somebody like a guy like Luke Kennard. Let's throw him in there. I mean, again, not my favorite way to do this, but clearly situations call for me to do stuff like this. So Allen, move him up. Actually, I didn't mean to do Allen. I meant to do Kennard. So we're gonna find something here. Again, he actually goes up 2 overalls. It's not gonna be son of a bitch. It's not gonna be anybody tremendous, but it's hopefully gonna be somebody that can be a stopgap for me for 1 season, probably about it. And a 2nd round pick. Point guard, please. Literally, Bones Highland, and I get Terrence Mann actually. All right, a lot of these offers are actually a little bit better. Wow, you know what? Jaden Hardy is somebody that I've seen come off the bench and be a 6-man averaging nearly 20 points a game. Now, would that happen here? Probably not. But I could easily do something similar to what I'm doing right now with Grayson Allen and get a really good player here in Jaden. Fuck it. I'm going to do that. I don't like Grayson Allen in the first place, so if I have to trade him, I'm not going to lose sleep. So Grayson Allen, how about it? Somebody want to give me a center? Ayo can probably move to the center spot. Other than that, I'm not really seeing many options here. Oh, Jose Alvarado. Perfect. All right, man. We are pretty much all set. We've pretty much transformed this team entirely, and I'm really excited for what next year could be. I'll see you guys at the rotation. We are now ready to kick off year 2 for us here in Cleveland. We went ahead this offseason, made a plethora of changes to this team. What was that? 3 out of 5 starters are completely brand new to this team. I'm very, very excited to see how this year could go for us. So, DeJounte Murray, our new starting point guard. We moved Sharp maybe back to his more traditional position of shooting guard. We still have Ingram here at the 3. New front court here with Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Duren. Bench unit will still be led by Jaden McDaniels. Bobby Portis Jr. now reverts to the bench. Jaden Hardy was a big trade for us. He's not going to average the 21 you've seen him do before just because he's, one, not a sixth man on this team. I think there's too many scores anyways. And he's only playing 15 minutes a night. So, is what it is. Caleb Martin we brought back as our backup 4, and then Jose Alvarado we traded for as our backup point guard. So I also know I went ahead and acquired, where the hell is he? Rashawn Holmes in that deal right there with, I forget who it was for. Was it the Hardy trade? Whatever trade it was. I didn't do anything with him. He's just going to expire. It is what it is. All right, man. I'm excited for this year. I think we definitely are in a better spot than we were last year, and hopefully a little bit of a longer playoff run as well. See you guys at the end of year 2. 61-21. That's how we wrap up year 2 for us here in Cleveland, and I'm feeling pretty good right now. I think this team is a serious contender this season, and I'm hoping for a very long, very prosperous playoff run. Nikola Jokic, holy shit, he's your MVP. Ron Holland, Rookie of the Year in Chicago. Scary Terry is now a Sixer. He's your sixth man of the year. Victor Wembanyama is your D-boy in just his second year, I guess, in the league. Bones Highland, we had the opportunity to trade for him. We decided not to. He wins most improved. Aaron Fox, clutch player of the year, and JB Bickerstaff does win coach of the year for us. So I'm assuming we're the 1 seed here in the East. Let's take a full look at the standings. We are by 11 games, which is good, and we did have the best record in the league. So I'm not going to sit here and say, like, JB Bickerstaff's job's on the line if we don't have a long and successful playoff run, but I guess I kind of am. So we'll figure it out, though. I don't want to hit the panic button yet because that's just we're not in doomsday mode yet. Also, I thought DeJounte Murray would have a few more assists. How many did he average when he was in San Antonio? Just curious. Like, literally just out of curiosity. Like, San Antonio assists. He was 9 assists in his final year in San Antonio. Jesus Christ, what an insane season. Yeah, I mean, I didn't maybe expect. This is a pretty big leap from 5. He didn't win most improved player this year, did he? Did he? I don't know. I start to mix things up at some point. All right, we do have Brooklyn here in round 1. Spencer Dinwiddie. They added Zach LaVine, so they have another star, I guess, next to Mikal Bridges. Rui Hachimura is a good addition as well. I like his fit next to Claxton. Still have Cam Thomas off the bench, Cam Johnson, and Sarr. Okay, that's a pretty good 1 through 8 right there. This could be a bit of a test here in round 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs. Now, we are up 3-1. They force game 6. We do win in 6, though. All right, we're moving on to the Pistons here in the East semis. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Azar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart. I forgot we traded them. Rudy Gobert. That's going to be a fun one for him, I would have to imagine. Yeah, the Pistons in real life right now, they fucking stink. It's actually embarrassing how bad they are. And they're kind of kicking our shit in right now. We're down 3-1 against them. We force a game 6, and we get bounced. We get bounced in the East semis after having the best record in the league. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that wow, John Morant, good for you. I fully expected to win it all that year, but, you know, not getting out of the second round, that's not acceptable. So I might look for a new head coach. It depends really who's available. I'm not just going to fire him because if there's not a guy that's better there, then it makes no sense. But we're going to have to do something because clearly running this back would probably not be the smartest decision that we can make right now. Oh, wow, the Spurs have the 3rd overall pick, the 4th overall pick. Awesome. Okay, cool. So, who's here? Stauffer's here. Who is Karen? I don't know. Karen Kelly. Trent Peterson's here. Joe Mazzulla. Oh, wow, they updated Joe Mazzulla's ratings. Do I go get Joe Mazzulla? I don't know. You know what? I'm going to get Joe Mazzulla. Now, call it my Celtics bias. Call it whatever you want. But Joe Mazzulla's ratings here are a lot better than they actually were just a couple weeks ago. So you know what? I'm signing Joe Mazzulla. He has better ratings. I think he'll figure it out with this team. I could have gone and got Stauffer, but I do that every video and it gets boring. So welcome. Welcome to the team, Joe Mazzulla. All right, we have no draft picks, clearly, because I've traded them all away, or they were already traded all away before we started this video. Sharp and Duren are coming back. Bobby Portis Jr. is a guy I definitely do not want to lose. Same can be said about Jaden Hardy. So let's sign our free agents back. Also have Brandon Ingram here in free agency. Have to make sure he gets paid. He actually has no offers, so I can probably just do about 33. And then I want to get Portis back as well, about 15 million AAV, and then I do want to get Hardy back, who wants about 11.5. So all 3 of those players agree to contracts. Do not renounce Jose Alvarado, because what I'm going to do right now is bring everybody back and then probably find a trade for somebody at some point in time. So we get all 4 guys back. I think so. Yes, we do. And yeah, we have a new head coach, clearly. So now we have to decide, is this roster perfect the way it stands right now? And I think my answer for you would probably be no. So I think there is an upgrade, whether it's Caleb Martin, Maybe it's Jose Alvarado. I don't really want to touch the starting five because I think when we look at guys like Shaedon Sharpe, we look at a guy like Jalen Duren, those overalls are both still going to go up. They're both relatively young. I don't know if we're finding somebody better than Cat or Ingram, and I think DeJounte Murray is probably the best option we're going to get with the assets we have. So I think maybe moving on from one of, if not both, of Alvarado and Martin is probably the smart way to kind of go about this. Now, if there's nothing here, I'm not going to do anything. That would just be dumb. But if I see something, I'm probably going to take it. So, I'm not really liking any of these right now. Yeah, I mean, these kind of all suck, to be honest with you. I mean, unless there's a free agent here that I would have serious interest in, which I really doubt it. Yeah, there's really not. So, maybe I just run it back. I mean, I'll do the same thing, kind of just look at trade offers here with Martin. But, unless there's something that, again, really, really excites me, I'm probably just not going to do it. So, yeah, I mean, there's an option for maybe me to make a trade for a guy like Kobe Buffkin, who I think definitely could develop a little bit. He just hasn't played a single minute in 2 years, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm hanging on, man. We're going new head coach. That's the only change that's going to be made. I'll see you guys at the start of year 3. After having the best regular season record last year and getting bounced relatively early in the playoffs, we decided to make a major move. Fire JB Bickerstaff, hire Joe Mazzulla, and this roster does not change at all. So there's definitely a little bit of a risk factor there. I really do think the talent is here for this team to win a championship. Something I actually did notice that I was actually a little bit surprised about is Shaedon Sharpe and Jalen Duren's overalls really didn't move a lot. I thought there would be kind of another leap. Like I thought Sharpe might go up to an 87, 88. I thought Duren would be at least an 85 by now, but we're really not seeing that progression. So I am a little bit nervous about that. I'm not going to stress about it too much, though, because I do think this team is still good. I think it has championship potential. We just got to go out there and win. I mean, it's as simple as it gets. The talent is clearly here. So, DeJounte Murray, Shaedon Sharpe, Brandon Ingram, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Jalen Duren. Bench unit's going to be led by Jaden McDaniels, Bobby Portis Jr., Jaden Hardy, Caleb Martin, and Jose Alvarado. And then for those of you that are probably going to agree with what I was originally saying in the offseason of maybe you could have found an upgrade for either Martin or Alvarado or both. I mean, if I'm really banking on guys that are playing 12 and 10 minutes a night as the reason that this team didn't advance in the playoffs past the second round or win a championship last year, we have bigger problems. I think that's relatively obvious. So it's nothing against these guys. They're both very good players, and I wouldn't even be surprised if those overalls were a little bit higher, but it is what it is. 10 and 12 minutes a night is not going to make or break a season at the end of the day. It's just not. So I am excited. I think this team is good, and I'm really hoping this is it, man. I think this team has championship potential. So I'll see you guys at the end of year number 3. Another great regular season for us as we go 68-14, and at this point, I don't really care. It's tremendous to have great regular season accolades. It doesn't mean anything if you're not winning in the postseason. We haven't even been out of the second round yet, so hope this goes well. Luka Doncic, your MVP once again. Dylan Harper, Rookie of the Year. Is that back-to-back Rookie of the Years for the Bulls? Holy hell. Kyle Kuzma is now a 6th man in D.C. All right. Victor Wembanyama, a 2nd straight depoy. Carlton Carrington, that is a mouthful, is your most improved player with the Celtics. Steph Curry, Clutch Player of the Year. Joe Mazzulla does win a Coach of the Year, so we had a Coach of the Year last year, too, with JB Bickerstaff. It really didn't mean much when it came to postseason success. So there's a look at the standings. We did have the best record once again. Here's a look at the numbers. Clearly, the talent is here. Looks like it was relatively spread out a little bit. I don't know. I want to win. So let's do that. Okay, who do we have? Us in the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo, Barrett, Randall, Gafford. Yeah, I mean, really, we're not doing this, right? There's no way the Knicks are beating us. There's just, okay. Up 3-1. Okay, cool. Moving on. Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton playing some of the best basketball of his career, actually the best basketball of his career right now. Malik Monk is a new addition here. Ben Mathurin looks like he's developing well. You have Jonathan Kuminga, must have been a trade addition from the Golden State Warriors. Clint Capella here. No more Miles Turner. Still Bruce Brown, Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith coming off the bench. It's a good team. They're definitely going to be a pain in the ass to play. I can say that. We are up 3-0, though, and we've finally advanced out of the second round. And we have the Pistons here, the team that eliminated us last year, made a finals run. Didn't win it, but did make the run. And, yeah, I mean, they're clearly good. So can we get a little bit of revenge this year? Let's find out. We are down 2-1. We tie it up 2-2. We go up 3-2. We full game 7. Okay. We're in the finals, and we are taking on Anthony Edwards and the rest of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So, to be fair, we did go ahead and acquire both members of the front court of the current Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, there's only one remaining on this team in Karl-Anthony Towns, but we did deplete them a little bit. We did trade them Jared Allen, on the other hand. Manu Quickly is now here. We traded them Chris Middleton. This team is good. They have Quentin Grimes now off the bench. Yusuf Nurkic, our old friend. I forgot we traded him there as well. So this team is still good, and Anthony Edwards is clearly a superstar. It's just whether or not we're going to be able to get the best of this team. I don't know. We're 1-1 right now. We go up 2-1, up 3-1, And that is a year 3 championship, and Jalen Duren is your finals MVP. Holy shit. That was a lot more stressful than I feel like it probably had to be. Now, on paper, this team looks really good, and it looks like there's a lot of like 82 plus guys on this team, and there are. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to say this team was underrated because clearly the talent is here. But I don't know. It just feels like I never had that like number 1 on a championship team. Like, who's the number 1 on this championship team? Is it Brandon Ingram? Is it Shaedon Sharpe? Karl Anthony Towns? The guy who just won a finals MVP and Jalen Duren? I don't know. I literally do not know. So that is rare that stuff like this does happen. It feels like typically I need that number 1 guy that's a superstar, but didn't have it today and got the job done anyway. So I am not going to complain when 2K blesses me. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. As I mentioned, I've been enjoying all of the rebuilds we've been doing recently. Been a ton of fun for me. It looks like you guys have been enjoying them as well. So as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As I mentioned to open this video, if you guys want to be in Friday's video, comment your NBA hot take. It's on my community poll right now. It is the most recent post. I don't post on there often, so it's up. You can probably find it relatively easily. So I will try to get as many in there for the video as possible. So yeah, man, that is it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.